Welcome to Great Gear. I'm Matthew Masaru Barron. It's my pleasure to give you a close and personal behind-the-scenes look at some of the many cool things made right here in Japan. From simple household items to cutting-edge technology, the products we feature and the people who create them are windows into the world of Japanese business and design trends. There's a lot to see, so let's get started. Here's today's lineup. Around the world, cars and robots are popular toys for children, especially boys. You can imagine the excitement generated by a robot car that can be assembled and programmed even by elementary school students. On today's Gadget segment, we'll hear the story behind this robotic racer. Electric vehicles, or EVs as they're often referred to, are a great way to reduce our impact on the environment without losing the inconvenience of owning a car. In today's on-site segment, we head to EVEX, a relatively new EV exhibition that's mainly about the nuts and bolts of making EVs a practical reality. Finally, on our Revision Corner, we'll head up north to an area devastated by the 2011 earthquake and tsunami. At least one company has risen from the destruction and is now thriving thanks to some hard work and unique packaging. In that packaging, among other items, is authentic Indian curry. That may not be what you'd expect to find in northern Japan, but big surprises come in small packages. Although computer programming has been around for a long time, traditionally, it has been the work of specialists, or at least some really smart university students with not much else on their social calendars. But the product we're looking at today makes programming an autonomous robot car child's play. Literally. I mean, it can be done by elementary school students. Take a look.
These miniature cars racing around an indoor track sure look fun, don't they? This is the Japan Micon Car Rally, a competition gathering 2,500 contestants from about 300 high schools around Japan. What's amazing about these miniature racers is that instead of being radio-controlled, they are self-propelled cars featuring integrated microcomputers that analyze the track and control the vehicle's movement and speed. This slower-moving model is a toy for kids also equipped with a microcomputer. It skillfully moves along the curves printed on the paper. Named Micon Racer, this popular toy was released this summer as a build-it-yourself kit for elementary and middle school students. It can be easily put together in about 30 minutes. You simply need to put the batteries and two small motors onto a microcomputer board. As you can see, it doesn't require any soldering or wiring. Well, this takes care of the hardware part. We paid a visit to Renesas Solutions, the company behind the Micon Racer. As a sponsor of the Japan Micon Rally, Renesas has been providing microcomputers for the event for 17 years. We asked about the connection between the high-speed microcomputer racers and the build-it-yourself kit.
小学生でもトライできるものを作ってみようということで、今回このマイコンレーサーを作りました。でこれハンダ付けを全くしなくて、ドライバーだけで組み立てられるというようなものを作りましたので、まず一番そういう小学生レベルでもマイコンカーに親しんでいただいて、でそこから将来的にはこういったその上のものへつなげていきたいなと、我々はそういうロードマップも持ってますので、そういうところのエントリーモデルという位置づけで開発をいたしました。
The small 6 square millimeter chip on the board is a 16-bit microcomputer that actually wasn't created specifically for cars of this type. It is used in a wide range of devices, including industrial machinery.
汎用的なマイクロコンピューターの16ビットのクラスになります。特徴としてはですね、いろんなところに使いやすいように作ってあるマイクロコンピューターで、ルネサスのマイクロコンピューター16ビットでは世界シェアナンバーワンというふうにいただいておりますので、その中の一つということになります。
The 16-bit microcomputer is also widely used in a variety of household electronic appliances.
どこという特定の用途があまりない汎用品でございますので、家電品の中ですとか、それからアシスト自転車ですとか、車の中にもたくさん使われているものでございます。
But assembling the Micon Racer isn't enough for it to work. It functions using software. However, it doesn't require any experience or knowledge of programming. The included software is very simple. It works by lining up pieces together like a system of blocks. Each block represents a function. For example, one type of block controls the sensor to differentiate straight lines from curves on the course. Another regulates the speed of the two motors to make the car turn, and so on. With a series of blocks cleverly put together, the racer can run along complex courses with lots of turns. Once the programming is done, it is transferred to the car and it's ready to roll.
普通プログラムを勉強される方はフローチャートですとか C 言語を勉強しないといけないということございますが、ブロックコマンダの方は制御のやり方を各ブロックに落とし込んでありますので、こうやりたいと思ったことを電子ブロックのようにつなぎ合わせて作ることができるということで、取り組みやすいものだというふうに私どもの方は考えております。
At the Micon Rally competition, all the racers basically have the same specs. Superior programming is what gets a car better time. The high school students who participate in the race compare their skills at creating elaborate C-language programs for their racers. The entry-level microcomputer car does work on C language, but the software interface uses a simple system of blocks. Middle school students in Japan study the principle of measurement and control to learn the basics of computer technology. The Micon car was developed to be an educational tool that adds an element of fun to their learning.
8月にシンガポールのですね、サイエンスフェスティバルという政府がやってるですね、科学技術展がありまして、そこで2日間ほどワークショップをこれを使ってやってきました。小学生から一般の大人の方まで対象でですね、2日間やってそれぞれ15人ぐらい、30人から40人弱ぐらいの方にですね、これのプログラミングをして実際走らせてタイムを競ってみるというようなことをやってですね、非常に好評でしたので、そういった展開もしていきたいなというふうに思っております。
A toy you can play with while learning. The Micon Racer sounds like an ideal solution, not only for students, but for anyone, even adults, who wish to study the basics of computer programming.
So, hang on. It's a car, it's a robot, and it's educational? Wow, education has changed a bit since I was a kid. What's really amazing is how easy the block-style interface makes programming. I'm thinking maybe even I could do it. These little electric cars just might inspire kids to study engineering or computer programming so that when they grow up, they can make big electric cars, like the ones we're featuring in today's on-site segment. While it might not quite be accurate to say that electric vehicles are taking the world by storm, slowly but surely, they are becoming more practical and fun to drive. We sent reporter Brian Hughes to Tokyo Big Sight to find out more about EV technology and infrastructure.
Hi, we're here at Tokyo Big Sight to cover the Electric Vehicle Development Technology Exhibition. Electric vehicles are still pretty rare. This is partly because technology isn't quite there yet, especially in areas like batteries. It's also because of a lack of infrastructure. After all, gas-powered cars would be nothing without the gas station. This exhibition features small and medium-sized companies who are often the drivers of innovation. So, let's go on in and see what they have to offer. As men say.
This organization helps to promote the development and sale of next-generation vehicles, which include electric, hybrid, and green diesel vehicles. Their efforts for EVs include working to expand the availability of charging stations.
If electric vehicles are going to become more common, one of the most important elements you need is a place to charge your batteries. After all, if you have no power, you can't go. So let's take a look at some powerful charging ideas.
First off, here's a charging station for EVs with a number of features like an LED street lamp and a wireless land-based security camera. The left side of the tower includes a retractable cable with a built-in charging head that fits most current domestically produced electric and plug-in hybrid vehicles. The right side is equipped with an outlet for a standard 3-pronged plug configuration, which is commonly found on most import vehicles. The system is coin-operated, and it's even possible to use both sides simultaneously. The company's latest model is a super compact version that features the same retractable cable as its larger sibling, is also coin-operated, and can charge vehicles at 200 or 100 volts. It seems like an ideal solution for apartment building parking lots with limited space. This maker of heavy-duty electric equipment presented their rapid charging solution for EVs. The system also borrows technology from vending machines, a particular specialty for this firm. They also presented this compact and affordable charger for in-home use, which features a control unit to regulate the flow of current, making it incredibly efficient. Since it's intended to be wall-mounted, it also features a special highly flexible cable designed to prevent twisting. We went back to the Next Generation Vehicle Promotion Center to learn more about their efforts.
そうですね、やはりこれからまさにその電気自動車とかそういう、プラグインハイブリッドこういった車を積極的に普及させていくためにですね、こういった多くの方々に目についてそれをまず知っていただきたい、で触れて感じていただきたい、でこれを元にしてもっと全国的に普及させていきたいという思いがあってここに展示をしております。時間的には2020年にその新車の 50% 以上ですね、これをまずクリーンエネルギー自動車と言われるものに置き換えていきたいというふうに思っておりますよね。
This may look like a certain famous Japanese-made EV, which it is, but we're not here to look at the car itself.
Well, as I mentioned at the top of the report, one of the biggest issues with electric vehicles is a lack of infrastructure. But with the system in this car, you can get a charge anywhere you need it. Take a look.
The unit you see here turns this ordinary EV into an emergency charging service. The vehicle can rush out to the location of a stranded electric motorist and give them a charge adequate to get them home or to the nearest charging station. To be precise, a 6 to 10 minute charge from the system should be enough to travel between 30 and 40 kilometers. Systems like this one mean peace of mind for EV drivers and may help convince others to make the switch from gasoline-powered vehicles. Automakers from around the world are working hard on small form-factor, short-range electric vehicles for commuter use. Displayed here are a few examples of the latest products in this small but powerful segment of the EV market.
Well, you know, they've improved this a little since the last time I drove it. And Tokyo is an ideal place for microelectric vehicles like this one. It has limited space and a large population. So now let's check out some of the great new ideas in these tiny electric vehicles.
A circuit board manufacturer developed this particular mini model. They call this class of vehicle an NEV, or neighborhood electric vehicle. On a 3.5-hour charge using ordinary 100-volt house power, it can travel at a top speed of 35 kilometers per hour with a maximum range of 50 kilometers. It seems ideal as a runabout for everyday errands. This decidedly eye-catching mini EV is the development of an engineering group that brings together creative minds from Italy, Korea, and Japan. It also has a maximum range of 50 kilometers and a top speed of 35 kilometers per hour, and is scheduled for delivery in Europe, North America, and Japan starting next year. Here's one of the smart people behind the smart porter.
今特定の地域のコミュニティの中での移動手段 あるいは再生可能な自然エネルギーを使って街づくりをしようとしているグループとかそういう形で使ってもらえればなと思います。一般的にこの量産して広告を出してディーラーさんに売るっていうような形での販売をする予定はないです。
Well, even though they're not planning to sell these to the public, I really want one. It's so cute.
With this versatile mini EV platform, it's possible to create an almost limitless variety of new EVs. The platform contains all the necessary parts for a fully functioning vehicle, so all that's required is a body, which can be designed to meet the needs and tastes of just about anybody. It's also possible to add options like longer life batteries, making it even more flexible. This quite attractive white shell was developed as a proof of concept for the platform. Even though it's experimental, that's no fake license plate. The car is street legal and can be seen driving the streets of Osaka, where the company that makes it is based. To bring this electrifying day to a close, let's take a look at the future of electric vehicles. This joint venture between industry, academia, and government, specifically the government of Okayama Prefecture, aims to develop next-generation products and technologies.
This group is working on technologies for use in the next generation of electric vehicles, and this car features a number of their latest innovations. So let's take a look.
The results of the project's efforts can be found inside of this great-looking car. The chassis of the vehicle comes from a commercially available sedan. But even though it looks like an ordinary car, it's full of great ideas. Particularly impressive are the state-of-the-art in-wheel electric motors that can be found inside all 4 of its 16-inch wheels. If you think EVs aren't fun to drive, then this car will surely change your mind. Thanks to its in-wheel motor's space-saving design, it's also equipped with a compact and high-performance front strut suspension system, which is something that wasn't possible with previous in-wheel motor designs. They've also developed a specialized double wishbone suspension system for the rear wheels in order to cope with the stress put on the chassis by the high torque of the in-wheel motors. Okayama Prefecture is home to over 500 auto industry firms. So, what are the goals of this ambitious project?
岡山というのは iMIV という電気自動車が初めて量産化された、世界で初めて量産化されたところなんですけども、その中で電気自動車に変わった場合にエンジン、ミッション、駆動系そういったものを作っているメーカーさんは非常に死活問題になるわけですね。でそういったところでそれをいかにやるかというと、将来の電気自動車の技術を手に入れることが生きる道じゃないかというようなことがありました。今回こういうふうにやりましてですね、産学官の中でも特に、企業間の連携でいろいろものができてきたんでね、でそれが商品としてなっていくという可能性がだいぶ生まれたんじゃないかと思いますけれども、はい。
Historically, getting into the car business has been very difficult for small and medium-sized companies. The development costs are so high, but electric vehicles are much easier to deal with, meaning that new companies with new ideas have a great opportunity. Personally, I think electric vehicles are a wonderful idea, although I'm a little worried I might forget to plug mine in at night. And just like my smartphone, if the battery's dead, it's no good. That's all for today. I'm Brian Hughes reporting. See you next time.
Electric vehicles have virtually no emissions. In an age when global warming seems to be becoming a reality, this, of course, is good news. But, as I've pointed out before, meeting the increasing demand for electricity is no small issue, especially here in Japan, where the nuclear power plants have been shut down and natural resources like coal and oil need to be imported. The event that led to shutting down Japan's nuclear power grid was, of course, the devastating earthquake and tsunami of 2011. Our final story today takes place in the city of Sendai, one of the hardest hit areas on the coast. One company there began rebuilding itself just 3 days after the disaster and is now selling a variety of foods including Indian curries and retort pouches. And what exactly is a retort pouch? Take a look.
This is footage of the tsunami that swept into Miyagi Prefecture shortly after the Great East Japan earthquake on March 11, 2011. The footage was shot close to this spot, which is located near the Pacific Coast and Sendai Airport. The company we'll be featuring is located just 2 kilometers from the airport. The company is Nishiki Foods, a food processing manufacturer. While their main products are spice-filled meat and vegetable curries, they also make hashed beef, stews, and soups. The food is packaged in airtight, opaque retort pouches before being pressurized, heated, and sterilized, a process that also cooks the pouch's contents. The seawater reached this point when the meter-high tsunami flooded the premises on March 11, 2011. All 200 buildings within the industrial complex were flooded. Nishiki Foods was in the process of building a new factory when the disaster hit. This picture was taken 4 days after the disaster and shows company president Kikuchi in his office. The clock is stopped at the time of the quake. His quick thinking and decisive action immediately after the disaster made it possible for the company to make a speedy recovery.
それで戻ってきて工場の責任者たちいたからはすぐ発注制度だからうちは全部モーターとか発注したんだ。
The company's products already had a solid reputation. Here in the development section, over 10 certified nutritionists and chefs develop new products under the supervision of the department director, who once worked as a chef for a major restaurant franchise. Division head Koji Saito is one of the company's top officials and is in charge of product development and sales.
これがレトルトパウチです。はい、この中にソースと具材を別々に詰めます。で、この段階では実は調理をされてない状態なんですね。はい。で、その状態でこれを密閉しまして、レトルト殺菌機という、加圧しながら加熱する、調理殺菌器具に入れます。その中で圧力をかけながら、要するに圧力釜で煮るような形ですね。それで調理を、3分の2程度調理をしながら3分の1殺菌をして、商品を作ると。ですので保存料とかそういったものは必要ないんですね、そもそもレトルトというのは。
Let's go over the basic steps involved in making a retort pouch. The stew sauce is made with purified water and natural ingredients. The density and sodium level of each batch are tested in the lab. This massive pot is filled with sauce. The meat and vegetables aren't added at this point. Each ingredient is measured individually by hand before being placed in the pouch. The package is then filled with the sauce. Once the ingredients and sauce are combined, the pouch is sealed and placed in the retort machine. The machine functions like a pressure cooker and cooks and sterilizes the food while the pouch is being pressurized. An X-ray machine is used to scan the finished product.
"水も変えてきた、塩素も取った、それから塩も変えた、で化学調味料もやめて自然の出汁にしてきた。そうするとレトルト臭がしなくなるんですよね。結果かもしれませんけどね。だからうちの商品は温めて皆さんに提供すると、これ本当レトルトなのって言われるんです。
The company also runs a retail store on the premises. All of the company's products are available here. The company's pride is its Indian curry line. Since 2010, the development team has been taking yearly trips to India to find new curry varieties and gain ideas for new recipes.
プライベートブランドのその商品開発をするために宇治のブランドを作ろうと。それの一番の柱がインドカレーです。インドカレーなんてどこもチャレンジしてるとこないんですから。だから彼らはじめインドに何回も行ってるわけですから。
However, recreating an authentic Indian curry was no easy task. Curry leaf, an essential spice for curry, was near impossible to come by in Japan, so the company contracted a local farmer to cultivate the plant in a designated greenhouse. They also contracted a local dairy farm to make an Indian cheese called paneer. They currently make 14 types of Indian curry. They plan to increase it to 30 within 2 years. Located 5 minutes away by car is a park called Millennium Hope Hills, which is dedicated to the quake restoration. A hill filled with debris from the disaster stands 10 meters high and 100 meters in diameter. 15 hills line the tsunami-ravaged coast and serve as a park, an evacuation point, and a buffer against any future tsunami. The company backed the project and created a curry package designed after the park. 2% of sales are donated to the project. Their ability to restart production in such a short amount of time following the disaster made the company a symbol of regrowth for the area.
Sendai, like most areas of Japan, is well known for certain specialty foods. No, not Indian curry, at least not yet. But if you ever get a craving for grilled cow tongue or fish paste cakes, Sendai is the city for you. That's all for today. Thanks for joining us. Tune in again next time when we'll introduce you to even more great gear. Until then, I'm Matthew Masaru Barron. では。